Part 2 of the first video. So, everybody, I changed my shirt. There's a good reason for me changing my shirt. This shirt is not only a Harley Davidson t-shirt, but it's also a Wounded Warrior t-shirt because I support the Wounded Warrior Project 100% for veterans who have been through a lot of trauma during the wars, such as Vietnam, World War II, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and Korea. So if you really want to show your support to the Wounded Warrior Project, go to the Wounded Warrior Project, and go to the Wounded Warrior Project online and make a donation. You know, a little bit will help during that project during this time of year, because unfortunately, a lot of wounded warriors, like a lot of veterans, I've seen a few of them out on the street, but they don't really want to be there because, well, a lot of their family can't take care of them. But anyways, let's get to the book I'm about to read y'all. So we're going to read a book called The Explosive True Story of a Vietnam Hero, Marine Sniper, with 93 confirmed kills. And anyways, his real name, his nickname, everybody better know this nickname. His name is White Feather, but his real name is Charles Hathcock. He is an American sniper during the Vietnam War. So let's read about White Feather here, shall we? Ooh. No, I haven't even, trust me people, I haven't even opened this. So he basically, the acknowledgement, he's saying thank you to the people who, and he's basically the author who wrote the book totally alone. Basically, we're going to read about Charles Hathcock, or White Feather. Let's get to it. If you like me, please hit the subscribe, like, and comment, and make sure you hit the notifications for my next upcoming videos. I will try to post as many videos. Here's the thing: I do not do like the screen. I do not show what everybody has to know this. I'll give you a little thing. I basically show my face when I do YouTube videos. I just don't fucking white out my face or something like that. I will show you my face fucking up close and personal. And yes, I have a lot of acne, but I do wash my face anyways. So, and by the way, for the Wounded Warrior Project, no, I am not a veteran, but I know I have had family members who are veterans during Vietnam, World War II, and Afghanistan and Iraq. And I know them, and I bought the shirt so I could show, respect to those people. I was in JRTC for the longest time in my high school years, and my rank in JRTC, I was a sergeant. Basically, I was in the Army part of the JRTC program. Anyways, let's get to the book. To be nationally recognized, a champion takes a special kind of individual. To be an effective on the battlefield as a sniper requires even more extraordinary qualities. Gunnery Sergeant Carlos Hathcock, sorry, I said Charles, but his name's Carlos Hathcock, is one of those rare individuals who have carved a niche in the Marine Corps history by being both. It takes a special kind of courage to be alone with your thoughts, to be alone with your fears, to be alone with your doubts. This courage is not superficial brand stimulated by the flow of adrenaline. Neither is the courage that comes from the fear that others may think a coward. Is it the courage born of honor? Honor is the battlefield, is a sniper's ethic. He shows it by the standards and discipline with with which he lives in life in combat. By the decency he shows shows his comrades. By the rules he attires to when meeting the enemy. The sniper does not hate the enemy. He respects him or her as a quarry. Psychologically, the only motives. So basically, this is the forward. We're actually going to get to the real story, the actual story. So let's get to chapter 1. The Duck Tao Fo Shooting Gallery. Gently, a gentle breeze rustles the white feathers in Marine Sniper's floppy hat as he watched the land below through the telescope gun sight. The soft stir of air had swept up the hill from the rice paddies, and just one moment early he touched a 12-year-old Vietnamese boy whose kayak shirt hung loose and wet across his skinny back, who struggled to keep his heavily laden bicycle upright. It was a mild February afternoon in 1967, and Sergeant Carlos Norman Hathcock II sat cross-legged behind his M2 50 caliber machine gun. A year and a half earlier at Camp Perry, Ohio, the slim 24-year-old Marine had won the U.S. 1,000-yard high-power rifle championship. Now he took aim for the southern finger of a solitary peak in South Vietnam. He squinted as he stared through the 8-power untrail sniper scope, mounted on top of the right-hand corner on the machine gun's receiver. His spotter, a darkly tanned, shirtless Marine Staff Sergeant named Charles A. Roberts, silently crouched next to him and looked through an M49 20-power spotting scope, watching for the enemy. The brim of Carlos Hathcock's faded camouflage bush hat sagged over the dull green tube of the telescope, sight as he observed a distant speck wobbling toward him up the dirt road. Slowly, the boy on the bicycle grew larger at Hathcock's gun sight, and troubled expression crept across Hathcock's narrow, untanned face. He saw a number of rifles dangling from the handlebars of 2 on each and 3 more tied sideways beneath the bicycle seat. The dirty green haversack hung from the center of the handlebars, bulging fat with hundreds of rifle cartridges packed in bandoliers and loaded in dozen banana-carved magazines that protruded from beneath the flap of the old canvas pack. This boy was not just another kid on a bike. He was a Viet Cong resupply mule, carrying arms and ammunition to the enemy patrol. When the night fell, the patrol would turn the rifles, and this undeterred 12-year-old boy now struggled to deliver directly to Hathcock's brother Marines. Hathcock never wanted to kill men, much less children. He knew, however, that this was no ordinary child. Children in the war grow up quickly, and the Marines die as fast from the bullets fired by 12-year-old boys as they do from the bullets fired by men. The bicycle teetered closer and closer. The sniper's grip tightened butterfly-shaped trigger, which was mounted between the handles at the gun's butt. He followed the youth until the boy came abeam him along for a clean 2,000-yard broadside shot. Hathcock moved his scope crosshairs onto the front wheel and fork of the boy's bike. He pressed the thumb slowly on the trigger and sent the heavy 2.5-inch 700 grain bullet ripping into the bicycle's framework. The boy swimmer saluted over the handlebars and crashed into the orange dust and covered the road. His deadly cargo scattered, and Hathcock smiled. Maybe now this boy would run away and leave the work to death to men. The hope rapidly vanished. The shaken lad grabbed the nearest automatic rifle with the quickest gains on many firefights, jammed the banana canvas magazine to the weapon. Then he raised the gun. Just as he began to shoot, Carl's Hathcock dropped him dead. A Marine patrol walked down to the road and took the load of enemy rifles and ammo, and Vietnamese farmers who had been working nearby Raspas carried the boy's body away. As he always did after engaging the enemy, Hathcock jotted down the facts in a dog-eared green notebook. His sniper log that he carried in the slanted breast pocket of his camouflage shirt. Later that evening, he would describe the kill and the situation report that would be sent to his new officer in charge, Major D.E. White. Hathcock didn't need to take notes, however, to keep his experience forever vivid. He and Roberts looked over the sandbag wall and watched the villagers carry the boy's limp body toward the mud rice straw huts that stood a few hundred feet away. The broken bike lay unattended and on the roadside. It would be gone by morning. The sniper's dark eyes followed the road back toward the mountain passes. The many corridors of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. No doubt those weapons had been boxed in China and had ridden the rails through Anning and Ninh across the North Vietnamese border to Lang Son Kep and to Hanoi. Their women took them from their boxes and repacked the rifles into smaller lots of their trip toward the South Ma Gai Pass. Pass Trail. The main funnel from the North Vietnam, the Ho Chi Trail, and South Vietnam's combat zones. During the United States' involvement in Southeast Asia, conflict, American forces divided South Vietnam into 3 zones of combat. In the far south, Saigon rested in the heart of the 3rd Corps Tactical Zone, the Mekong Delta lowlands, Camu Peninsula, later designed the 4th Corps, and the hill country North Ben Hau Air Base. The 2nd Corps encircled the vast central highlands, which Dak Son and Dai Latong, bordering the South Phu and Phu Cat the north. From the 17th peril, the ceasefire demarcation line of July 1954, popularly called the DMZ, north to the Central Highlands northern ridges, is the 1st Corps. In 1966 and 67, the 1st Corps was a tough place for American fighting men to live, primarily controlled by the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese forces. The combat area's western border blended into the Otan jungles where the Ho Chi Trail's 3 main arteries flooded arms and the freshly trained troops in the Vietnam's war. So we're on page 4. So I'm going to stop there. Anyways, so basically, Whitefeather had to kill a 12-year-old boy because the boy was carrying guns and ammunition to the Viet Cong. So he did what he was trained to do. He shot the boy's bicycle tire. Boy loaded the gun, cocked it back, and got ready to shoot. So what Hascock did? Dropped him. Dead. Anyways, people, that's going to be it for tonight. Have a good rest of your night. Bye.